I wanted to kind of talk about for just a minute here our cookbook. So we have the Ken Cook. Now, by the way, this is no longer the cover. We've changed the cover. It'll have an exploded view of a lasagna now on it. But this was the original cover that we first came up with and stuff. And we don't have a new version of the printed book yet, but we will by the end of the week, which is kind of neat. We're only a few days away from this thing to be finalized and versions of it, but I wanted to sit down and talk with Shu, because Shu was kind of instrumental in building out a lot of the digital parts of this, the creative aspect of it and stuff like that, and all the different things. So if you wouldn't mind, just kind of give like an idea of like what you did in this project, and what are those different pieces that you helped assemble and ideas and concepts you came up with.
Yeah, for sure. I think the first step was building out the wireframing of how like the digital version would look like. That was done all in Figma. Actually, I'm pretty sure we live streamed it.
We did. We live streamed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see my processes, and I was also learning Figma at the time too, so that transitioning over from Adobe XD into Figma, which is not that difficult, but learning new software, it's like going from like Final Cut to Premiere or whatever. It's the same process, but just in different areas. So it took me a little bit extra, and initially the design was just to kind of keep it simple. I got a lot of inspiration from other digital manuals and things like that. I know John Deere was one that I looked at specifically because, while this is designed in a manual aspect in the print version, it's like you look at online like recipes and things like that, and like, well, it looks completely different. So how do I balance the online version to look like a manual and a recipe at the same time? So that was one of the biggest things that I had to kind of figure out and balance, and stylistic choices and things like that, and functionality and things. So as soon as I got the wireframing done from that point, I was able to work with Nick Stilkey, our developer, who's been working on a bunch of other clients within the CMS itself.
Yeah, to be clear, the cookbook was designed so that we had something we could show off without showing off our customer stuff. So luckily we have wonderful customers that are partners to us, and they let us show off a lot of things. But we also work with their competitors, and we never want to show that off if it's their direct competition. So things like that. Yeah. So the reason for this cookbook was to take these cool tools that we've built and designed and build something that we can give to anybody, and anybody can see it. It also allows us to kind of step outside the industries that we're known for a little bit, which is we're known for heavy equipment, automotive, marine, basically manufacturing, things like that. And this allowed us to go like one step outside of that, and to kind of go about it. So the cookbook came about because of that. And everybody that worked on this didn't do this as a full-time job. Yeah. Like this was like, hey, I've got 10 minutes free right now. Let me jump in and do this right now.
Let me see how much I can plug into the CMS right now so that I can at least get a couple of pages or something like that done.
Because we have tons of billable work right now, things that for customers, so that's obviously the priority. But the second like there was a delay or somebody like, hey, we need to hold off for a week, we're like, oh my God. And then somebody would be able to jump in and able to take care of those functions and stuff like that. And the way that Shu had to work was building out the design and that layout, which is great. But he also had to wait on the desktop publishing team to build out the physical book to then take that same aspect and layout and make it so it matches up, but taking it then one step farther in the digital example, right? Yeah. So in the digital example, like what are the other things that are outside of the like? Why would we care about a digital version of this? What couldn't we just do a PDF of this book? Like what are some of the reasons we built it this way versus building it like just simply taking the regular book and making it a PDF?
Yeah, just making it more interactive. I know we mentioned some of the video aspects and things like that. It's like, you can read about a recipe and things like that, but it's like if you're going to get confused or something like that, it's easier for you to be able to watch something, figure that out as well. I know obviously in the manufacturing or whatever industry that you're in, if you want to fix or do anything, I feel like it's easier for you to be able to watch somebody do it and then you yourself be able to do it as well, following that guide. So that's also another thing. And then, being able to take a lot of the art now assets and things like that you typically see in an OMM or other manual or anything like that, like exploded views or diagrams like that, and being able to make sure that is
So
functional.
so the reason we changed the cover, it's actually an exploded view of a lasagna that Tony did, and that's to really show off the technical communication skills. So it's like all the layers in a lasagna, and then has breakdowns and points to it. And what Shu did in the digital version of it is he taken it and actually took that illustrated version and then made a 3D model of it, so you can explode a view, open and stack it, and things like that, and then make hyperlinks on those different areas too as well. So it's actually showing off a function that I think is pretty amazing, is the ability to be able to take your technical communications to the next step. So the person that goes and opens up a technical manual is because something's wrong normally, right? Or it's the first time they're operating something. But let's say they know, they're working on a skid steer or something like that. And they open up the manual like, oh, I got to get some filters and things like that. And I need to get some oil. I need to change out the track. Well, as opposed to simply just reading in the manual and seeing that and then trying to figure out going online and searching for it, in the digital manual, what Shu did in the Blow Exploded View lasagna is it has hyperlinks. So every single stackable piece is a bucket that goes directly, in this case, to Walmart to be able to add. So you can go directly to Walmart and buy those items. Now, we have no affiliation with Walmart, nothing like that. We would love to, though, by the way, if you'd like to work with us. But the idea is being able to take these manuals and make it so you can take it to that next step, showing not just simply value in the content, but showing that, hey, this actually can directly make it easier for a person to find the item they need, to be able to get something fixed so their work time is down, right, and up and running faster. But on a direct ROI, you can actually show like, hey, because we built this manual, we were able to then cross-sell and have these other items that were then purchased, keeping the brand really tight, so marketing will love it, that kind of idea. But also on the commerce side, if the companies have commerce, and if they don't these days, that's a huge misstep. Being able to make it so it's easier for that end user. It gives a better experience for the end user. It gives a better experience for the company. And at the end of the day, it helps show true benefit to actually having that manual. Because the amount of companies I'm hearing from nowadays where they want to cut back on the cost of these things, or it's ridiculous because these things are so important to the end user. Now, I'm a person who does not like a physical book. I know we work for a print company.
I love physical books.
But you like a physical book.
I love a physical book.
It all depends on the person, right? So like meeting the customer where they want is the whole point of this. So we build it this way, and then it can be on this device, and it can be on this device, and it can be on this device. It could be on any of these places. So you're giving and meeting your customer where they are, and allowing you to take that next step through that process. And that's kind of the goal for this, which I absolutely just love.
I mean, also speaking on the digital aspects, especially with the 3D model, the exploded view that you working on. One of the biggest things is also being able to keep that in your ecosystem in of itself too, right? It's just, I think that's one of the most important parts of being able to build out that stuff. And then also it has an AR function.
I forgot about that.
If I'm working in the field or something like that, or if I'm looking at, again, a skid steer or something like that, and I need to replace a part or something, I'm able to look at it in an AR function and have it side by side by my actual machine. So that, if I need to, I can kind of break it apart and be like, okay, well, in the AR function, I can walk around this 3D model of this machine and kind of pinpoint exactly, rotate it, whatever, to how my model looks, or my skid steer looks in real life, So I'm able to do a one-to-one comparison if I need to, and either shrink down that component or whatever to be able to see inside or outside or whatever, to be able to get to that point to fix it or do whatever else I need to with it.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I'm missing on this table right now is I own a bunch of AR headsets and VR headsets and stuff like that. And I did that by accident. I didn't realize that it had that stuff built into it.
Yeah.
So I had my headset on because I work with an Apple Vision Pro pretty dominantly. Everybody laughs at me when they walk in my office every single time. To this day. It's been over. I've been wearing it for over a year, and everybody still laughs as they walk in the door. But like by accident, when I put it on and Shu sent me the thing, it scanned the QR code, which I thought was cool, popped up, but then it popped up in AR, and I'm like, oh, and I just grabbed it and started pulling it apart and like put it over there. I was like, oh, this is sweet. And now we already knew we could do it from the phone and like just simply, so you walk around the device and things like that. That was really easy, but not even thinking about it from the headset point of view. That being said, we partnered with a company that helps us build that tool set out by the name of Vantana. Amazing product. If you're doing commerce these days and you want 3D models, exploded view type functions, not just simply in manufacturing, but almost in anything in general. Like I think like Nike uses this tool and stuff like that.
Nike, Amazon integration.
Yeah, I mean it is fantastic. So Vantana, thank you so much for helping us make some of this stuff happen. Yeah. You use that. You're actually the main reason that tool exists in our tool set and stuff like that. So yeah. But no, so we just kind of want to talk about the cookbook. We will have it available. Both Shu and I are actually speaking at the AEM Safety Conference at the end of this month. The Safety and Stewardship Conference at the end of this month in Nashville. We're going to be doing a video presentation, and the cookbook is going to be a little bit of part of that to show off some of those functions. But it's to show people how the stuff that we build isn't as complicated as people think it is. They're like, oh my God, it's going to take forever. And the truth is, like, it did take us 6 months to build this cookbook, but the actual amount of clock time that's on it is probably less than 2 weeks, maybe 3 at tops, is the truth, in total for the people that actually worked on it. Now, we also had to make everything from scratch. Nothing was pre-built for us. We made everything from the ground up. Whereas if you have assets and tools and information, you could probably convert an actual physical manual within a week or so, probably the entire thing, into an interactive digital version of it. It wouldn't take that long. It's just about knowing the process, the time, and things like that. And that's literally what we're going to show off, is how to do that. Now, you can do it at a professional scale and hire us, and we'll help you build out something that looks pretty amazing.
Please hire us.
or or you can start doing it yourself. We're going to give you the tools and how to do it yourself using like an iPhone or an Android device and basic tools and things like that. So we'd love for you to come and watch us at the AEM Safety Conference at the end of this month. Again, if you haven't signed up, I'd strongly recommend coming. If you're in safety, if you're in technical communications at all, I would strongly recommend you attend. And plus, you get to meet Shu and I, so that's always a big benefit right there. Can Cook Cookbook. It's coming out in just a few days. We will have about 150 or so copies that we'll give away at this event. So you'll have the physical copy of a book. On top of that, we will have QR codes for people to be able to scan to download the digital version. You'll have access to that as well. And we just want people to enjoy it. And at the end of the day, we hope we built something fun and cool. Worst comes to worst, it gave us something to make us just a little bit more creative outside of what we normally do. Because we fortunately and unfortunately, deal with some pretty serious stuff. And this allowed us to be a little silly, have a little fun, and without me basically saying, hey, we got to get this done, which everybody had to deal with. Other than that, overall, I think people had a good time building this. What do you? I mean, you could tell me if I'm wrong. You could be like, no, everybody was super scared.
Hey, man, I got to look at recipes instead of looking at other things and stuff like that. I think it was pretty fun. I love cooking.
Yeah, we got to mix some drinks too.
Yeah, we got to make some drinks, so I think it was super fun and exciting. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, cool.
It's pretty cool.
Well, thank you, everybody. We really want you to come. Again, the AEM Safety Stewardship Conference at the end of this month. We'd love it if you attended.